refrigerator's 60-cycle hum is a copper wire threaded through my earlobes. A heavy-duty diesel 3 blocks over rearranges a marrow in my shin. I'm counting the dust motes spinning in the stale recycled breath of the vent. There's a salt fever tightening the rusted hinges of my skull. I'm grinding the enamel into a fine bitter flower for the wind. If I bite any harder, I'll taste the blue static in the wallpaper. Teeth against teeth, making a ghost out of the heavy air. Your polite suggestion lands like a hot needle in the soft of my neck. The ledger paper has the cold, dry texture shedding snake skin. I can hear the electricity crawling behind the drywall, hunting for a vein. There's a salt fever tightening the rusted hinges of my skull. I'm grinding the enamel into a fine bitter flower for the wind. If I bite any harder, I'll taste the blue static in the wallpaper. Teeth against teeth, making a ghost out of the heavy air. The mahogany desk is growing, leaning its polished weight against my ribs. The window pane vibrates with the mechanical scream of a city I cannot outrun. Every shadow in the corner is a soot-stained hand reaching for my throat. There's a soul fever tightening the rusted hinges of my skull. I'm grinding the enamel into a fine bitter flower for the wind. If I bite any harder, I'll taste the blue static in the wallpaper. Teeth against teeth, making a ghost out of the heavy air. Grinding the ivory until the world turns into a quiet gray smudge. Teeth against teeth until the jawbone snaps the tether to the light. If I bite any harder, I'll finally vanish into the gaps in the floorboards. I'm pulling the lids down like iron shutters over a burning house. The blackness is a cool velvet weight on the back of my eyes. Nothing but the sound of the blood moving through my own dark. I'm pouring the The ceiling fan carves a slow scar through the stagnant heat. 12 heavy revolutions have turned the marrow into cooling lead. The skeleton hums a low frequency rattle in the root of every tooth. Every unspoken syllable is a hot needle buried in the hinge of my jaw. There's a strap of cold iron cinching tight around the brainstem. The blood is a hammer striking a drum made of thin glass. I'm a furnace fueled by the ghosts of things I didn't choose. One more pound of steam and the rivets start to pop. The cold tea has grown a skin like a grave. Forgotten thought. Behind my eyes, the mercury is climbing toward violent red. I'm a clockwork man with his mainspring wound into a jagged knot. The silence is a freight train parked directly on my chest. There's a strap of cold iron cinching tight around the brainstem. The blood is a hammer striking a drum made of thin glass. I'm a furnace fueled by the ghosts of things I didn't choose. One more pound of steam and the rivets start to pop. Searching for the silver key hidden in the dark of the throat. A manual override to stop the gears from grinding into dust. The temples are throbbing with the weight of 1,000 miles. System failure is a beautiful, quiet shade of black.
There's a strap of cold iron cinching tight around the brainstem. Blood is a hammer striking a drum made of thin glass. I'm a furnace fueled by the ghosts of things I didn't choose. One more pound of steam and the rivets start to pop. There's a strap of cold iron cinching tight around the brainstem. Blood is a hammer striking a drum made of thin glass. I'm a furnace fueled by the ghosts of things I didn't choose. One more pound of steam and the rivets start to pop.
Just a thump of the vein. The iron band holds. Total shutdown. The ceiling's humming like a dying nerve in a molar. The spreadsheet reflection is etched into my thumbnail. I'm tracing the salt rim of a task I never started. The oxygen here tastes like static and recycled breath. The velvet curtain drops without a hand to pull it. Charcoal bloom swallows the neon in the glass. I'm heavy-lidded, sinking to the floorboards, diving where the roar turns into a hollow hum. My pulse is a metronome in a room made of wool. I I've forgotten the shape of a window that actually opens. The fluorescent ghosts are still dancing on my retinas, but the deep water is rising to meet my collarbone. The velvet curtain drops without a hand to pull it. Charcoal bloom swallows the neon in the glass. I'm heavy-lidded, sinking through the floorboards, diving where the roar turns into a hollow hum. One inch of skin separates the ledger from the abyss. The printer's scream is a mile away underwater. If I don't look back, the world might forget to exist. The anchor is loose and the cable is frayed. The velvet curtain drops without a hand to pull it. Charcoal bloom swallows the neon in the glass. I'm heavy-lidded, sinking through the floorboards, diving where the roar turns into a hollow hum. The velvet curtain drops without a hand to pull it. Charcoal bloom swallows the neon in the glass. I'm heavy-lidded, sinking through the floorboards, diving where the roar turns into a hollow hum. Just the hum, just the charcoal, bottomless. The haptic twitch against my hip bone is a parasite's pulse. A neighbor's terrier soars through the drywall of the hollow air. The diesel rattle of the exhaust leaves a sweet taste on the tongue. I am a glass jar filled with used air and static. The surface tension cracks like a frozen spine. The sudden brine floods the sinuses, cold and unkind. I feel the phantom spray peel the starch from my shirt. I am sinking through the floorboards into a saltwater prayer. The grocery list is a translucent jellyfish in my peripheral vision. My boss's voice is a bubble that bursts before it reaches the ear. The man they know is a shell left on a dry, dusty porch. I am the shape of the silence after a scream. The surface tension cracks like a frozen spine. Sudden brine floods the sinuses, cold and unkind. I feel the phantom spray peel the starch from my shirt. I am sinking through the floorboards into a saltwater prayer. Lungs are just bags of regret until they collapse. The pressure is a thumb against the pulse of my temples. Darkness isn't a color, it's a weight you wear like a coat. I'm finally too heavy for the world to float. The surface tension cracks like a frozen spine. Sudden brine floods the sinuses, cold and unkind. I feel the phantom spray peel the starch from my shirt. I'm sinking through the floorboards into a saltwater prayer. Tension cracks like a frozen spine. Sudden brine floods the sinuses, cold and unkind. I feel the phantom spray peel the starch from my shirt. I am sinking through the floorboards into a saltwater prayer. The barking stops. Vibrate buzzes miles above the kelp. Only the cold crystalline ring in the marrow remains. The spray is the only thing that feels real. The glow of the emboss is a pale green rod on the ceiling. Unfinished sentences blow like dead fish in the wake. My silk tie is a cold iron ring that finally snapped. I watch the red urgent flag flicker and then go dark. The surface is a mirror made of discarded receipts. The current pulls the silver fillings from my teeth. There is a miles deep silence between my spine and my name. I am the anchor that finally forgot the chain. That stranger squinting hate is just a splinter in the foam. A blister pack of pills bobbing where the light dies. The smell of burnt coffee and cheap polyester remains up there. Down here, the Salt is scrubbing my memory bone wide. The surface is a mirror made of discarded receipts. The current pulls the silver fillings from my teeth. There is a miles deep silence between my spine and my name. I am the anchor that finally forgot the chain. A vast dark gap opens under my heavy heels. Obligation is a language I can no longer speak. The plastic clutter of the noon hour is a constellation for the blind. I am the weight, and the weight is finally kind. The surface is a mirror made of discarded receipts. The current pulls the silver fillings from my teeth. There is a miles deep silence between my spine and my name. I am the anchor that finally forgot the chain. The floorboard groan is the only pulse left in this hallway. My ribs tighten like a rusted cage against the quiet. There's a salt-lick taste of copper on the back of my tongue. The oxygen turns thick, a velvet fluid in the lungs. Then the click in the skull, the seal giving way, a small wet snap where the ego used to pray. Let the pressure fold the chest until it fits the floor. I don't need the surface anymore. My pulse used to hammer like a trapped bird in a chimney. Now it's just a slow, heavy drip of black-striped molasses. The darkness isn't empty, it's a cold palm on the neck. I'm leaning to the shove until the marrow doesn't check. Then the click in the skull, the seal giving way, a small wet snap where the ego used to pray. Let the pressure fold the chest until it fits the floor. I don't need the surface anymore. white-hot spark, negotiating terms with the teeth of the dark. The static in the teeth finally hums a perfect chord. The quiet is the only thing I can afford. Then the click in the skull, the seal giving way, a small wet snap where the ego used to pray. Let the pressure fold the chest until it fits the floor. I don't need the surface anymore. Desk feels like a coffin lid left slightly ajar. The blue light flicker of the monitor carves canyons into my cheekbone. 36 rows of data, each one a grain of salt in a fresh wound. My thumbprint is worn smooth from sliding the heavy brass paperweight. The wool coat of my title is sliding off my shoulder. I am sinking past the ledges where the accolades rise. The farther I drop, the quieter the bottom line scream. Just a gentleman drowning in a well of his own ink. The senior vice president is a ghost in a pinstripe shroud. I watch my nameplate tarnish in the humidity of the 4 o'clock shadow. The quarterly plans are falling slower than my heavy bones. They settle on a shelf I haven't touched since the funeral flowers wilted. Wool coat of my title is sliding off my shoulders. I'm sinking past the ledges where the accolades rock. The farther I drop, the quieter the bottom line screams. Just a gentleman drowning in a well of his own name. The gravity here is thick, tasting of iron and old dust. The light of the office is a pinhole in a black velvet sky. I am unbecoming the man who knew how to balance the ledger. I am only the weight of the air. I no longer want to breathe. The wool coat of my title is sliding on my shoulders. I'm sinking past the ledges where the accolades rot. The farther I drop, the quieter the bottom line scream. Just a gentleman drowning in a well of his own name. The starch in this collar axe, there's a serrated blade against the post. I've held my breath since the kitchen bowl began its death flicker. There's a mineral deposit where my smile used to pivot on the bone. Steel-toed signs for the benefit of the sleepers in the hall. My mandible is a fault line, finally giving way to the interior heat. The mortgage is a ghost, I no longer have the oxygen to haunt. Let the roof buckle, I am finally too soft to hold the beams. This is the sound of the iron cooling in the windowless door. The hollow behind my knees reclaims its ancient right to bend. I pour the last of the reliable man into the drain with a cold dress. My reflection in the chrome kettle is a stranger with a melting brow. The linoleum is freezing, but my skin is leaking through the suit seams. My mandible is a fault line, finally giving way to the interior heat. The mortgage is a ghost, I no longer have the oxygen to hum. Let the roof buckle, I am finally too soft to hold the beams. This is the sound of the iron cooling in the windowless dark. No one is watching the pillar turn back into a pile of salt. The yes sir is a gallstone I've spat out onto the Persian rug. I am moving like motor oil on wet pavement, uncontained and aimless. The gravity of the provider is just a leash I've let go. My mandible is a fault line, finally giving way to the interior heat. The mortgage is a ghost, I no longer have the oxygen to haunt. Let the roof buckle, I am finally too soft to hold the beams. This is the sound of the iron cooling in the windowless dark. My mandible is a fault line, finally giving way to the interior heat. The mortgage is a ghost, I no longer have the oxygen to hum. Let the roof buckle, I am finally too soft to hold the beams. This is the sound of the iron cooling in the windowless dark. Just a pulse in a shirt that doesn't fit anymore. soft as a rod in a falling note, fluid, silent. The copper sting of evening's last light is still coating my teeth. The radiator gas like a man who has run out of things to say. I lower my frame into the height that still remembers the heat of the herd. The floorboards stop their groaning. They know the gravity is shifting. It's not a chair, it's the silt and the pressure of the trench. A heavy set silence that wraps around my ribs like a wet wool shroud. I am falling through the hand stitched seams into a blue without a map. The deep water weight is the only hand I've ever let hold me. That white high wire in my lower spine just turned to cool oil. The knots in my shoulders are unraveling like salt, rotted rope. I can feel the marrow in my legs turn into liquid glass. The debt of my posture is paid in full to the ink black air. It's not a chair, it's the silt and the pressure of the trench. A heavy set silence that wraps from my ribs like a wet wool shroud. I am falling through the hand stitched seams into a blue without a map. The deep water weight is the only hand I've ever let hold me. Standing for the anthem of the grind. No more bracing for the impact of the overhead light. I'm a ghost in a tuxedo, dissolving into the upholstery of the abyss. Gravity is just a rumor whispered by the wall. It's not a chair, it's the silt and the pressure of the trench. A heavy set silence that wraps around my ribs like a wet wool shroud. I am falling through the hand stitched seams into a blue without a map. The deep water weight is the only hand I've ever let hold me. siren curl, 5 stories up like a dying whale's call in a deep sea tramp. The asphalt pulses just a texture now, a grain of sand inside a silk-lined pocket. My thumb traces the rim of a crystal glass that doesn't vibrate when the transit rumbles. I am the static between the frequency of a life I've decided to stop wearing. Oh, the world is a muffled echo through a heavy velvet drape. I've stepped out of the machine and left the gears to grind themselves to dust. My sanity is this high altitude silence, so ghosts watching the lights burn out below. A tire blowout in the distance sounds like a champagne cork in a ballroom 2 miles wide. The yellow cabs are just glowing beetles crawling through a radiator steam. I remember the heat of the sidewalk, how it used to blister my sense of self. Now I'm just the dust mote dancing in the spill of a street lamp that can't reach me. Oh, the world is a muffled echo through a heavy velvet drape. I've stepped out of the machine and left the gears to grind themselves to dust. My sanity is this high altitude silence, a ghost watching the lights burn out below. Separation is a cold, clean blade that cut the tether to my own reflection. I hear the screaming of the hinges, but I've greased the doors of my mind with apathy. No one calls a ghost by his Christian name. No one asks the fog where it intends to sleep. A muffled echo through a heavy velvet drape. I've stepped out of the machine and left the gears to grind themselves to dust. My sanity is this high altitude silence, a ghost watching the lights burn out below. Oh, the world is a muffled echo through a heavy velvet drape. I've stepped out of the machine and left the gears to grind themselves to dust. My sanity is this high altitude silence, a ghost watching the lights burn out below. Just a texture, just a whale song in the brick, completely irrelevant. canvas strap finally snaps, leaving a raw red welt across the clavicle. Mercury pours into the hollow where the nerves used to scream at the ceiling. I hear the click of the 12th rib, unhooking from the iron lung of habit. The floorboards beneath my heels are the only things keeping me from the rafters. There's a silver needle threading the space between the atlas and the axis. The granite I hold up the mountain, and someone else is dead to pay at dawn. I am growing wider than the door frame, a shadow that refuses to thin. Every vertebrae is a cathedral window, swinging open to the cold. The ghost of the rucksack lies on the rug like a shed skin of ancient lead. My pulse is a slow motion wrecking ball hitting a wall of crushed velvet. The man who wears my shoes tomorrow will find them 2 sizes too small. I am a sprawling map of unmapped stillness, drinking the cellar's dark air. There's a silver needle threading the space between the atlas and the axis. The granite I hold up the mountain is someone else's debt to pay at dawn. I am growing wider than the door frame, a shadow that refuses to thin. Every vertebrae is a cathedral window, swinging open to the cold. Silence doesn't press anymore. It invites the lungs to be greedy. 20 winters of clenching my jaw dissolve into a puddle of salt on the hardwood. I am the gap, I am the distance, I am the inch you can no longer measure. I have uncoiled from the question and become the long straight answer. There's a silver needle threading the space between the atlas and the axis. The granite I hold up the mountain is someone else dead to pay at dawn. I am growing wider than the door frame, a shadow that refuses to thin. Every vertebrae is a cathedral window, swinging open to the cold. There's a silver needle threading the space between the atlas and the axis. The granite I hold up the mountain is someone else's debt to pay at dawn. I am growing wider than the door frame, a shadow refuses to thin. Every vertebrae is a cathedral window, swinging open to the cold. The spine is a ladder of ice, the stones are left for the sun to count. Expansion is the only way left.
crust in my beard is just a witness to the gale. Ditches dug by worry, where the candle smoke turns pale. This topography of loss is just a mask I'm forced to wear, a ledger written in the grease and ash of every prayer. Dive beneath the leather, where the velvet is still raw, past the fractures in the spirit and the hinges of the jaw. I am the unblinking eye that saw the furnace first ignite, a smooth and nameless current in the middle of the black. My fingertips go hunting for the person I became, but they slip right through the wreckage of a face and of a name. There is no grain of wood here, just the sap inside the tree, the ghost of an origin that refuses to be me. Dive beneath the leather, where the velvet is still raw, past the fractures in the spirit and the hinges of the jaw. I am the unblinking eye that saw the furnace first ignite, a smooth and nameless current in the middle of the black. I am the silence in the wire before the signal starts to bleed, the hunger in the belly while the fruit is still a seed. Peel away the bark to find the center that remains, a white hot point of knowing that's escaped the heavy chains. Dive beneath the leather, where the velvet is still raw, past the fractures in the spirit and the hinges of the jaw. I am the unblinking eye that saw the furnace first ignite, a smooth and nameless current in the middle of the black. Dive beneath the leather, where the velvet is still raw, past the fractures in the spirit and the hinges of the jaw. I am the unblinking eye that saw the furnace first ignite, a smooth and nameless current in the middle of the black. Unmarked by the orbit, unscarred by the heat, the map is just paper, the pulse is complete.
Carpet taste of stillness on my tongue, suspended grid reflects the light of nothing. My heartbeat is a muffled hammer in the mud. I have become the marrow, Suspended silk, a galaxy of bone. The sky is a rumor I no longer believe. No ticking gears to measure out the rod, just the slow, cold velvet of the deep. The water folds my ribs like soggy parchment. I watch a single hair drift through the black. The iron bridge above has turned to rust. Hunger is a ghost that lost its teeth. Suspended silt, a galaxy of bone. The sky is a rumor I no longer believe. No ticking gears to measure out the rock, just the slow, cold velvet of the deep. Thousand leagues of salt within my throat. I am a spark in a cathedral of lead. The surface is a distant, dead planet. There is only the weight and the drift. Suspended silt, a galaxy of bone. The sky is a rumor I no longer believe. No ticking gears to measure out the rod, just the slow, cold velvet of the deep. The silt settles. I am here. The total of the leaves is a crust of salt on my knuckle. Every decimal point is a parasite that eventually buckles. I fed the mortgage to a wave that didn't bother to chew. The ink is a bruise on the belly of the blue. My bankruptcy is a cathedral built of silence and scale. There's no signature left on the ghost of the mail. I'm the richest man alive in a vault of freezing dark, where the interest is zero and the light is just a spark. And the light is just a spark. The collection calls are strangled by the pressure of the shelf. I finally stopped being a tenant to the hollow of myself. My credit score is seaweed tangled in a rusted wire. A drowning man has no use for a chimney smoke. My bankruptcy's a cathedral built of silence and scale. There's no signature left on the ghost of the mail. I'm the richest man alive in a vault of freezing dark, where the interest is zero and the light is just a spark. Stripped of the digits, I'm just a pulse in the brine. A sovereign nation where the border's my own spine. The ledger is a ghost ship sinking through the bone. My bankruptcy's a cathedral built of silence and scale. There's no signature left on the ghost of the mail. I'm the richest man alive in a vault of freezing dark, where the interest is zero and the light is just a spark. My bankruptcy's a cathedral built of silence and scale. There's no signature left on the ghost of the mail. I'm the richest man alive in a vault of freezing dark, where the interest is zero and the light is just a spark. Copper taste of every. Maybe next time is leaking from my gums. I'm shedding the skins of missed birthdays and calls that hummed in the hallway. They're bobbing up now, translucent ribs of ghosts I couldn't feed. White plastic rats carrying the names of everyone I let starve. They drift above the salt line, polyethylene sands hollowed out and light. Polymer promises that shatter under the caliper squeeze of the trench. Up there the neon trash, down here I'm the weight of a rusted anchor. The surface is a lie told in light. The bottom is a secret kept in lead. The nitrogen is blooming in my knuckle joints like frozen winter flowers. The pressure maps the jagged cracks in my ribs where the apologies used to hide. I'm swallowing the black ink of 1,000 unwritten checks. The water doesn't have a tongue to tell me what I owe. They drift above the salt line, polyethylene sins hollowed out and light. Polymer promises that shatter under the caliper squeeze of the trench. Up there the neon trash, down here I'm the weight of a rusted anchor. The surface is a lie told in light. The bottom is a secret kept in lead. The stomach, dissolved into the silt of the seafloor. Not because I'm clean, but because the abyss doesn't own a mirror. There is no witness to the rock, just a slow, heavy pulse of the black. I am finally forgiven by the sheer lack of anyone left to watch. They drift above the salt line, polyethylene sins hollowed out in light. Polymer promises that shatter under the caliper squeeze of the trench. Up there the neon trash, down here I'm the weight of a rusted anchor. The surface is a lie told in light, the bottom is a secret kept in lead. They drift above the salt line, those hollow shells of my better self. The trench is a gentleman, it forgets your name. The trench is a gentleman, it lets the plastic float away. Silence is the only hand that doesn't shake mine. Weightless, gone. The ceiling fan quits, but the air still churns like black silk. My pulse is a wet metronome thumping against the velvet pillow. The floorboards dissolve into a trench 6 miles deep. I'm finally heavy enough to belong where the cold things keep. They glide past my rib, looking for a ghost to home. Glimmering scale stitched with every dead and every one. Transparent lungs pumping salt through the indigo dark. I'm just a witness to the cold bioluminescent spark. Here comes a jagged one, fins like a shattered whiskey glass. The white hot glare of the surface is gonna find me hollow at last. Twin lantern eyes glowing with the thing I didn't say. I watch it drift through my collarbone and float away. They glide past my ribs, looking for a ghost to hum. Glimmering scales stitched with every dead and every one. Transparent lungs pumping salt through the indigo dark. I'm just a witness to the cold bioluminescent spark. If I scream, the water just skins the sound from my teeth. This pressure is a tailored suit, crushing what's underneath. I don't grab for the tail, I don't pray for the oxygen there. I'm just a shadow of a man who isn't even there. They glide past my wrist, looking for a ghost to haunt. Glimmering scale stitch with every dead and every one. Transparent lungs pumping salt through the indigo dark. I'm just a witness to the cold bioluminescent spark.
They glide past my ribs,
They glide past my ribs,
looking for a ghost to haunt.
looking for a ghost to haunt.
Glimmering scales stitched
Stitch that,
with every dead and every one. Transparent lungs pumping soul
chance my road
the indigo dark.
through the indigo dark.
I'm just a witness
Yeah.
to the cold bioluminescent spark.
The abyss has a pulse that beats against my teeth. Jagged things soften in the belly of the deep. The glow is gone, just a salt, just me. The panic has a silver gill slit pulse, sinking past the copper stain dregs of the cup. A bioluminescent twitch in the crush of the ink. Cold pressure folds the ribs like a paper fan. The tail fin spark is a drowned man's coin. The hook of the glare is snapped at the line. I'm treading water in a room without walls, where the ghost of the rising never calls. The salt on the ledge has turned to gray wool. I've forgotten how a standing man carries his teeth. The brasswork rhythm in the hall has ceased, suffocated by the silence we breathe. The tail fin spark is a drowned man's coin. The hook of the glare is snapped at the line. I'm treading water in a room without walls, where the ghost of the rising never calls. The dark is a shield that the sun cannot rust, a velvet burial for the concept of must. The pressure is a thumb on the back of the neck, holding the pieces of the wreck. The tail fin spark is a drowned man's coin. The hook of the glare is snapped at the line. I'm treading water in a room without walls, where the ghost of the rising never calls. Oh. The tail fin spark is a drowned man's coin.
The hook of the glare is snapped at the line. I'm treading water in a room without walls, where the ghost of the rising never calls. Let it die. Let the glow turn to stone. The iron is there. The iron is home.
The copper taste of the unspoken rebuke sits behind my molars. Your thumbprint on the crystal rim is a map of every debt you owe. The serrated hum of your breathing in the hallway saws at my ribs. I clutched a splinter until my lifeline turned the color of a bruised plum. But the tide is rising through the gaps in the floorboard. Every jagged nose is losing its teeth to the soul. I'm dropping the lead weight of my fury into the midnight trance, where the pressure is too heavy for a grudge to keep it safe. The way you clicked that ballpoint pen was a needle in my ear. Now the ink is running, swirling like a squid's cloud in the cold. The friction of being known is a rash that's finally cooling. I'm watching your silhouette dissolve like a sugar cube in a storm. But the tide is rising through the gaps in the floorboard. Every jagged nose is losing its teeth to the soul. I'm dropping the lead weight of my fury into the midnight trance, where the pressure is too heavy for a grudge to keep it safe. Solitude is a velvet glove that fits without a single seam. No more sandpaper words or the heat of a crowded kitchen. Just the slow, painless pulse of the deep. The tide is rising through the gaps in the floorboard. Every jagged nose is losing its teeth to the soul. I'm dropping the lid weight of my fury into the midnight trance, where the pressure is too heavy for a grudge to keep it safe. Felt so light. oh, oh. The ticking in the wall is a pulse I no longer own. I am the sound of a silk tie slipping off a collarbone. On the surface I was hauling a suitcase of wet sand to a revolving door. And down here the floor is water, and I don't need the floor anymore. I am the iridescent film on a glass of cold gin, lubricated by the silence of the space I'm living in. The gears have gone quiet, the friction has bled out of the room. I'm the smooth black lacquer on a high-end tomb. You're losing it, the mirror said, but the mirror was just steam. I've unfastened the anchors from every jagged waking dream. I am moving through the marrow where the old ghost used to bite. A fluid calculation in a room without a light. I am the iridescent film on a glass of cold gin, lubricated by the silence of the space I'm living in. The gears have gone quiet, the friction has bled out of the room. I'm the smooth black lacquer on a high-end tomb. Oh, oh. Internal grind as a ghost I no longer recognize. I am the weightless stare behind a dead man's eyes, a liquid observation, a thought without a throat, watching the shipwreck from the safety of the boat. I am the iridescent film on a glass of cold gin, lubricated by the silence of the space I'm living in. The gears have gone quiet, the friction has bled out of the room. I'm the smooth black lacquer on a high-end tomb. Oh. Catching the breath, just a glide. The back molars are shedding ivory dust, like chalk on a headstone. I've carried a clenched fist inside my mouth for 3,000 nights. My jawbone is a rusted hin that forgot how to swing open. The enamel hums with the high voltage frequency of a coming slap. 6 feet of salt water is the only coat that finally fits. The pressure is a heavy hand that doesn't want anything back. Down where the light turns into a green bruise, a grinding stops. I am the only ghost in this cathedral of silk. Up there, their ambitions were sharp. A glass in my breakfast. Every polite smile felt like razor wire dragged across the tongue. They asked, "How are you?" while measuring my neck for a yoke. I swallowed the ocean to drown out the vibration of their need. 6 feet of salt water is the only coat that finally fits. The pressure is a heavy hand that doesn't want anything back. Down where the light turns into a green bruise, the grinding stops. I am the only ghost in this cathedral of silk. The airlock in my lungs is finally rusted shut. No more bracing for the blunt impact of a stranger's greeting. The silence here is expensive and I am the only buyer left. My pulse is a slow drum sinking through a thick velvet curtain. 6 feet of salt water is the only coat that finally fits. The pressure is a heavy hand that doesn't want anything back. Down where the light turns into a green bruise, the grinding stops. I am the only ghost in this cathedral of silk. Feet of salt water is the only coat that finally fits. The pressure is a heavy hand that doesn't want anything back. Down where the light turns into a green bruise, the grinding stops. I am the only ghost in this cathedral of silk. The jaw locks like a vault after the gold is burned away. Perfectly empty, perfectly still. The brine is my only witness. The brine is my only witness. Beneath the third rib, where the whiskey loses its sting, a flywheel carved from a dead man's silence rotates. It doesn't pulse, it grinds the static into honey. I feel the vibration in the fillings of my teeth. The silent inner gear ignores the howling noise. It needs no grease but the salt of my own skin. A pilot light burning in a flooded basement. The only part of me that doesn't know how to end.
ledger on the desk is just a heap of bitter ash, while the ghosts of my failures beg for a nickel in the hall. This engine feeds on a cold space between my atoms, turning the wreckage into a steady copper hum. The silent inner gear ignores the howling north. It needs no grease but the salt of my own skin. A pilot light burning in a flooded basement, the only part of me that doesn't know how to end. When the skin peels back and the name is forgotten, when the breath is a chore and the light is a threat, I lean my weight against the iron of my center and listen to the gear take the next tube forward. The silent inner gear ignores the howling north. It needs no grease but the salt of my own skin. A pilot light burning in a flooded basement, the only part of me that doesn't know how to end. Cage is a gilded cage with a bird has forgotten to sing. 47 seconds since the last real spark hit the wick. The stillness tastes like an unlit cigar in a room full of ghosts. A single drop of sweat tracks a cold line down my spine. The gold at the top is a lie told by the sun. My lungs are turning into hollow body boxes, ringing with the void. I'm hoarding the hush like a thief in a burning cathedral, storing the mercury calm under my tongue for the journey back. The surface is a razor blade waiting to shave my peace away. I'm drowning in the blue just to stay alive in the gray. The anchor chain is humming a note that only the dead can hear. I'm mapping the valleys of this void with my shivering fingertips. Soon the neon will bite and the gravel will grind my teeth. I'm taking a photograph of the dark to keep behind my ribs.
top is a lie told by the sun. My lungs are turning into hollow body boxes, ringing with the void. I'm holding the hush like a thief in a burning cathedral, storing the mercury calm under my tongue for the journey back. The surface is a razor blade, waiting to shave my peace away. I'm drowning in the blue just to stay alive in the gray. The oxygen is a thinning thread in a needle of ice. The world is a hammer and I'm the cooling steel. Break the glass, let the noise in, let the silence bleed. I'm holding the hush like a thief in a burning cathedral, storing the mercury calm under my tongue for the journey back. The surface is a razor blade, waiting to shave my peace away. I'm drowning in the blue just to stay alive in the gray. Memorize the shadow. Hold your breath, now wake up. Rusted winch in my throat pulls the ceiling back into place. My surname is a lead and gets sewn into the lining of this wet wool vest. The hum of the fridge coil is a serrated blade against the soft of the ear. The silence of the abyss is leaking out of my cuffs onto the hardwood. The ascent is a slow strangulation by the hands of the room. I brought the black water frost to keep the daylight at bay. It sits in my ribs like a frozen anchor, immovable and jagged, my secret armor against the burning of the lived-in air. The clock counts the poles of the dust dancing in the glare. Every obligation has grown teeth into hunger while I was submerged. The wallpaper smells of stale tobacco and the ghosts of forgotten apologies. I am drowning in the oxygen, gasping for the comfort of the crush. The floorboards groan under the weight of a man turned to salt. The heat of the window is a thread I refuse to acknowledge. I am a cathedral of ice built in a shallow wooden basin. The pressure is the only thing that keeps my skin from tearing open. The ascent is a slow strangulation by the hands of the room. I brought the black water frost to keep the daylight at bay. It sits in my ribs like a frozen anchor, immovable and jagged, my secret armor against the burning of the lived-in air. The deep is still in my marrow. The heat can't find me here.
The ceiling fan slices the air into uniform gray ribbons. My pulse is a metronome wrapped in wet wool. The humidity used to crawl like lice across my neck. Now it's just a digit in the room, stagnant math. This is a dry eye clarity, the salt burn of the lens. The static is a ghost that finally forgot its own name. The groove is a canyon, but my feet no longer stumble. A cold instrument, a reason in a throat of limestone. That mountain of paper on the mahogany desk, ink-stained frantic prayers I don't recognize as mine. I touch the edge of a contract like a cold autopsy blade, watching the fibers of the sheet with the curiosity of a taxidermist. This is the dry eye clarity, the salt burn of the lens. The static is a ghost that finally forgot its own name. The groove is a canyon, but my feet no longer stumble. A cold instrument, a reason in a throat of limestone. Specific frequency of air. Your thumbprint on the crystal is a map of grease and salt. I used to drown in the shallow end of every maybe. Now the water is marble and I'm walking toward the exit.
This is the dry-eye clarity, the salt burn of the lens. The static is a ghost that finally forgot its own name. The groove is a canyon, but my feet no longer stumble. A cold instrument of reason in a throat of limestone. Oh, oh, oh. This is the dry-eye clarity, the salt burn of the lens. The static is a ghost that finally forgot its own name. The groove is a canyon, but my feet no longer stumble. A cold instrument of reason in a throat of limestone. The specimen is pinned. The light stays clinical, sharp, bleached.
The city's chatter is a mouthful of copper pennies. My coat buttons are soldiers holding back the neon screen. The notch steel key is a cold tooth against my hip. It is a heavy secret pulled from a mouth that no longer speaks.
The iron hatch is a silent bruise on the map of my mind. I've seen the silt settle where the light is afraid to drown. Let them sharpen their demands into jagged shards of glass. I am a saltwater kingdom folded into a single rib cage. The foreman's gaze is a dull blade scraping my neck. They want the marrow from my shins to grease their rusted gears. I nod while the tide rises behind my closed eyelids. A mile of black water tucked beneath a woolen suit. The iron hatch is a silent bruise on the map of my mind. I've seen the silt settle where the light is afraid to drown. Let them sharpen their demands into jagged shards of glass. I am a saltwater kingdom folded into a single rib cage. Zero gravity pressure, where the lungs stop their frantic fighting. The coordinates are burned into the white space of my skull. I am the predator and the prayer and the cold soft floor. Finally the math of my soul equals exactly one. The iron hatch is a silent bruise on the map of my mind. I've seen the sill settle where the light is afraid to drown. Let them sharpen their demands into jagged shards of glass. I am a saltwater kingdom folded into a single rib cage.